Welcome back, our dear viewers. As we have said at the beginning of our show for today, that we are going to talk about the great achievements made by our sports teams in the African Games in Morocco. Of course, great achievements, 273 medals achieved by Egypt. Of course, Egypt took the first rank in the number of medals with 102 golden medals and 98 silver. Of course, great achievements. To shed more light about that, we are very much delighted to have with us over the phone Mr. Hazem Iskandarany, our sports critic. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Hazem, how do you see the great performance by our Egyptian teams in Morocco?
Of course, we see that this effort was great because, this result was great because there was a very hard work that led our champions to this wonderful result.
Okay.
So we see that the federations of the different sports, they prepared new athletes who were very well trained and really prepared to face the African champions in all the disciplines and the sports.
Mm.
Yes. Go on, Mr. Hazem, yes.
Also, when we talk about the individual games or collective, we see that the performance was brilliant. Of course, we have some sports. The Egyptians are strong in these sports more than others, but we see that there are some sports. Egypt appears for the first time as the winner of the golden medal. Mm-hmm. So this is an effort which is really should be underlined and shown very well that these federations, they did a great job in the preparation of this youth.
Yes. Mr. Hazem, what were the sports in which the Egyptians achieved or won gold medals, and what were the sports that they won silver and bronze medals?
For these sports with gold medals, we are talking, of course, about the athleticism for the first time. Mm. Okay, we see a young lady. I'm mentioning this sport especially because it's the first time for us to win it. Yes, it was a silver medal, but for the first time we find a name of an athlete, a young Egyptian girl who won the silver medal in the running in a race of speed. This is the first time. Always we are talking about Kenya, Nigeria, Ethiopia. These countries were always on the top in these sports, even in the middle distances. We see that the Moroccan and Algerian are much stronger, and they have a very good reputation in these races. But to see for the first time a young player, a young athlete from Egypt, a young lady, and she managed to win the silver medal from the Kenyans, the Moroccans, these big nations in this kind of races. This was a very promising start for the young Egyptians for that. Mm-hmm. Concerning the gold medal, of course, in the weightlifting, we see that, as usual, Egypt is performing very well. When we talk about the sports in general of defense, like the wrestling, of course, Egypt is very good. We see that we started in the ping pong to beat Nigeria, who has a very strong team, either for men or ladies. We won the gold medal, of course. When we see in swimming, okay, swimming, of course, Egypt is very well known, very famous in this field, but we managed to beat South Africa, who remained for years and years the biggest competitor to Egypt.
Yes, Farida Osman and Hania Moro.
Of course, of course. So we see that we have champions who won more than 3, 4 medals, gold medals and silver medals. So this shows that Egypt has a brilliant future in swimming.
So do you think that with such excellence, Egypt can actually make achievements in the upcoming Olympics?
We hope so, but because Africa in general, unfortunately, is not the continent that has the athletes who win easily the gold medal. But we're talking already about Farida Osman, for example. She is a very important athlete in the 50 meters and 100 meters, not only on Africa, but all over on the World Cup and the Olympics. So we have a very good future in that. In boxing, too, we are very famous. See, I didn't mention the boxing. And in boxing, at least we have 2 or 3 medals, either gold, bronze, or silver. And Africa in this sport is very strong.
Okay.
So we see that, yes, I think that in the coming Olympics, I think that we will have more than 4 or 5 medals in different games.
Let's hope so.
And I hope that we will win a medal in the collective sports.
Indeed. Mr. Hazem Iskandarany, our sports critic, thank you very much for your precious input, and of course we wish our teams most of the success also in the Olympics, as Hala just mentioned. And with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show. You were in the company of my dear colleague Hala Hamalawi and myself, Maïsti Rabia. Thank you very much, Hala.
Thank you very much, Maïsti. Have a great day.